Hello and welcome to Those Weird Witches.
I'm Helvella.
And I'm Rùna.
Come with us as we explore the runes and all the weirdness that comes with spirituality. Hello weirdlings and welcome to Those Weird Witches. Today we'll be doing introductions so you get to know a bit about your hosts and our backgrounds in spirituality. Let's start with you, Rùna.
Yeah, so a bit about how I got into spirituality. There wasn't exactly like a point in time where I was like, oh, I'm spiritual now. It kind of just happened gradually throughout my life. Like I was always collecting the crystals, always collecting the rocks, the stones, the feathers. By the time I realised I was into spirituality, I was like way deep. I had like so many like tarot cards and oracle cards and crystals, and I was just chilling and talking to the spirits.
It wasn't like just happened organically for you, I guess.
It did. There wasn't like a moment of aha. It was like, yeah, I guess this is what I'm doing now. All right. Not sure when that happened, but it is what it is.
I think for me, mine was definitely a mix of both. So I knew about witches and all that because my mum's a witch and my dad's a muggle. But like, so I knew about it. I knew my mum would do like astral projection. I always remember the story on when she was at a school camp and a spirit dragged her out of bed in front of everyone, and I'm like, wow. So I knew witches were a thing, and mum's like, I'll teach you when you're 16. Never happened. But like, I was learning the runes since I was 12. So, and I had a rune set. My mum got me my first rune set. And I was like, oh yeah, this is, but I was using it for our alphabet usually, like at the start. So when I finally got to university and found out about binaries, I was like, oh, they're not just letters, they have spiritual meanings.
Yeah.
And then I met you. And it clicked that, maybe I can do witchcraft as well. And that's how mine started. So again, it was sort of organically, I was into it before I really knew what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Like, I remember at high school, I was talking to spirits, and I later on figured out who they were. And I was just having a nice chill time. Like lunchtime, I'm like, oh, hi there. Yeah. And I just...
It just wasn't time.
It was just part of my life, you know? Yeah. There wasn't like, I'm suddenly spiritual. Like, I grew up Christian, but the whole time I was spiritual. I was just doing my own thing, really.
Yeah. So what are sort of like your belief systems now?
Oh, well, I'm a bit all over the show, to be honest. I'm very chaotic. I take a little bit from here and a little bit from there. The root of my practice is based on animism. So everything has its own spirit, its own vibration, its own energy. And my practice is built off of that. I'm very much into Norse paganism, Norse beliefs. A lot of what I work with are Norse gods, Norse energies, the ruins, that sort of stuff. And I'm also a really large draconic practitioner, so I work with dragons. So almost all my spirit guides are dragons. When I work with the ruins, they come to me as dragons. Everything is
that sort of dragon energy.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. My belief system's definitely changed over the time that I've been a practitioner. When I first started, I was like, deities don't exist, because I was like, ended up working with deities. I don't work with deities now, but just like Rùna, my sort of belief system and spirituality system is animism. I believe everything has a spirit. I work closely with the spirit of the land that I live on, and again, I work with dragons. That's been an organic thing that sort of happened over a couple years and now starting to ramp up. Runes, I sort of see them as their own energies in a way, almost sort of their own deities. So I'd say like my pantheon is the runes. But no, definitely that animism and I guess that pagan aspect of like land, is it land aetia? Land spirits and stuff? Yes. So I'm more sort of that pagan rather than, like I'm a pagan of my land rather than say a Norse pagan, even though I do take a lot from that sort of belief system because of the runes and such. But yeah.
Like, I don't even know if I'd consider myself a Norse pagan, because like a lot of my practice is based on Norse practice and just everything around Norse cosmology. But I'm also doing so much with dragons and the land here and my local spirits and my local plants. It's
sort of like a Norse Dragonland pagan sort of thing.
yeah, but then you also have my death work. I'm studying a whole bunch of different death gods and just traditions around death and how it's managed.
But that is the important thing when doing different traditions and stuff, is knowing the culture and stuff behind them. So you doing the work, learning about it,
yeah,
rather than just going head first and not knowing like the cultural significance behind it, is really important.
It really is. It changes the whole perspective about it, because for me the colour blue might mean something, so I'm going to interpret it in this way, but for you the colour blue is going to mean something completely different. And if I'm working with you, I need to know, you're my deity now, welcome. If I'm working with you, I need to know what the colour blue means to you.
That is such a good way of putting it.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to be going on about the colour blue, and it can be something completely different. For me, blue could be really calming and happy, and for you, blue sad. You're trying to tell me that something sad's going to happen, or that you're sad and I need to do something. But for me, I'm like, calm, sweet, everything's fine, everything's great. No, it's not.
It's about finding that balance between practicing and studying. You don't want to be a professional student and not actually have that working relationship with that energy you're trying to study.
Yeah, like most of your knowledge, at least what I found, is going to come from actually doing the work. You have to experience something to actually understand it. So I could read about skiing as much as I want to, but I don't know how to ski unless I actually ski. But I need to do that reading, otherwise I'm going to die.
Yeah, you need to know how to put the straps on and stuff. I feel like, maybe for our listeners, how we got to know each other was through university.
It was.
And everyone was like, so I had a friend group, right? Once upon a time, I had friends.
I'm not a friend.
At university, I had friend groups. And one of my friends had a flatmate. And everyone said, oh my gosh, you guys are going to be best friends. This was like 5 years ago. So they were so
probably,
and I remember everyone being like, yeah, they're a witch. And I'm like, oh, okay, what can I do? How can I make friends? My love language is gift giving. I'm literally a penguin. I'll give people rocks. And I was like, okay, let's go on to, I think I went onto Instagram and studied spell jars.
Yes,
So I made them spell jars, like protection ones for the flat. I'm like, this is how I get friends. This is gonna work for me.
I still have them. Actually.
I still have one you made. And so then we start, after like, we're obviously best friends, I was so right. But I think then we started like mini coven meetings.
Oh, we did. It was great.
Was like, we'd do mini coven meetings. We'd like learn. So at first you're sort of like my mentor. I think I help with the route. You help with just generally everything.
Gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. And it just grew from there.
It did.
So I think that was important to put, that like you were the catalyst for my witch sort of like becoming, even though it was already happening. You were sort of like the, oh yeah, I've met now another witch. It's not just me mom's a witch. Other people are witches too.
Yes, we're everywhere. We are everywhere.
Absolutely. I think there's way more witches than we give ourselves credit for, or at least spiritual people. Once you start looking.
We are everywhere.
Righty, weirdlings. Thank you for coming on up with us on our introduction.
Yeah.
I hope you learnt something about your host, and we'll see you next time.